A lot of our friends are surprised when we tell them that we pay less than $1,000 a month for rent. We definitely live in a low-income environment right now, but we make do.
Not bad.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda Song. 2019 has had me thinking so far, thinking about how I spend my time. So now, working essentially 2 jobs, my time is very limited. I think people tend to compensate for limited time with money instead. When we feel like we're not getting enough joy out of our lives in other ways by taking care of ourselves and spending time with family and friends, we tend to just throw money at our lives, buy more stuff. But I'm going to be turning 25 this year, and I'm still very young, but each year now that I start to get a little bit older, the weight of time is really starting to sink in, and I'm starting to realize I never want to meet a new year with regret and feeling like I'm not happy with where I am. In Connecticut, the average household income is between $73,000 and $75,000, placing Connecticut among the top 5 wealthiest states in the country. But along with that means that the cost of living in Connecticut is about 17% higher than the national average cost of living, including rent, taxes, food, insurance. During the 5 months that I was unemployed last summer in 2018, I spent more money than I had, essentially. I was still living off of the remains of the student loans that I'd borrowed for my master's degree. So whatever I spent, I would owe back 10 times as much. But as the days went by without me finding a job that I really wanted, I began to get really nervous and worry. But the biggest worry I had was that I would not be able to meet my monthly loan repayments, which were starting soon. And of course, instead of diligently saving every single penny that I could to make those payments, I was just spending money like crazy, hoping that it would make me feel better about myself. To be honest, shopping always makes me feel good. It gives me a boost of confidence, as if like, I know what I'm doing. Obviously, this is not a healthy way to live your life. It's not healthy financially, and it's not good for my mental well-being. Since I finally got a job, I realized that I don't want to just spend all of my hard-earned money on cheap, useless things. And instead of just spending, trying to look inside myself and think about why am I not happy and what can I do to change that. In other words, I'm kind of embracing minimalism this year. And recently, one of my favorite YouTubers said something about minimalism that really stuck with me. She basically said that it's not just about eliminating things from your life, but it's about choosing the things that bring joy and value to your life, and choosing what enters your life. And I realized I have not been very selective at doing that. I feel like my life, my apartment, my closet, it's like a garbage receptacle. Like it's just collecting a bunch of useless, cheap stuff. But I don't want it to be a garbage can. I want my life, my body, my apartment to be a temple, as cheesy as that sounds. This year, I want to focus on meaningful spending, and instead of just going on a shopping spree to make myself happy, I want to explore other ways that I can bring joy to my life that don't cost money. Basically, what I want to say is I'm going to be starting a new weekly vlog series where I share how Kyuho and I live within our means in a sort of minimal way. I'm not saying we are becoming minimalists, though eventually that is kind of my goal. We really want to share this part of our lives with you because I feel like there's an unrealistic expectation of, especially like YouTubers and your social media friends, that we all have these like glamorous lives. But I just want to show you guys that's not the case with us. We don't have much, but some of the little things that we have, we do really appreciate it. We have an old mint green desk with chipping paint that we found at our old apartment complex by the garbage cans. Someone was about to throw it away. So we took that. Honestly, as cheap as they are, they make us happy. And we do just fine with them. I know many of you out there are struggling with these feelings of feeling like you're always trying to catch up with society. But I'm tired of playing catch up with things that I don't actually care about. I'm 25, I'm halfway to 50. Every single moment, every single thing, every single product I use on my skin, every single morsel of food that goes into my mouth, it counts. And it's going to affect my future. If not in the next year, then it will in the next 20, 30 years. And in the next half of my life, when I am 50, I don't want to look back and say, oh man, I wish I hadn't spent so much money on clothes. I wish I'd eaten more good food. I don't want those regrets. So please share this journey with me, and maybe we can learn something together about how to live a regret-free, stress-free, meaningful life. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.